From cherry red upon the tree to your cup in Dubai, come ride with me. Pick, process, dry in the sun, mill and ship, the journey's begun. Roast, grind, brew, the aromas rise. Every cup holds a world inside. PASA Coffee, sip and see. Seed to cup, the story flows free. From Dubai, we show the way. Better coffee starts today.
PASA Coffee Podcast.
Episode 5.
Before your morning cappuccino reaches your hand in Dubai, how many people and steps helped create it?
Oh man, if you actually knew the real number, it is staggering. I mean, it's mind-blowing.
It really is. And, welcome to this deep dive. Today we are taking a huge step back from the final product.
Yeah, the brown powder, the latte art, all of that.
Exactly, because we want to look at the entire journey. We are pulling directly from the official curriculum of PASA Coffee.
That's PASA Coffee right here in Dubai.
Yeah, a specialty coffee academy and service brand.
Yeah.
And we're specifically getting into episode 5 of their beginner specialty coffee series.
Which is such a great series. Like their episode 4 looked inside the anatomy of the coffee cherry.
Right, and now our mission today is to track that single seed from a farm, like thousands of kilometers away, straight into your cup.
Because honestly, understanding this journey, it's basically the ultimate cheat code to making better coffee yourself. Better coffee starts with better awareness. It's so true. Okay, let's unpack this. Because to trace this journey, we have to totally reset our foundational understanding of what coffee actually is.
Yeah, we really do, because coffee is agriculture first. It's a fruit.
A fruit. I mean, I think most people just picture brown beans growing on a bush.
Right. But it grows on trees, and what you see on those branches, they aren't brown beans. They are plump, brightly colored cherries.
Like actual cherries.
Very similar, yeah. Usually they're green, yellow, red, or even purple. And inside those cherries, you usually find 2 seeds.
And those seeds are what we eventually roast.
Exactly. But it starts as a living, growing fruit.
So, okay, we have a tray covered in fruit. But if I think about any fruit tree here in the UAE, the main problem is that fruit doesn't just ripen all at exactly the same time.
No, it definitely doesn't.
You've got green, rock-hard fruit sitting on the exact same branch as soft, perfectly ripe fruit. So how does a farmer deal with that uneven ripening when it's time to harvest?
Well, that is the very first massive decision that impacts the quality in your cup. Because it takes a while to grow, right?
Yeah. Arabica cherries take about 7 to 9 months to fully develop, so the farmer has to figure out how to get them off the tree.
Right.
In a lot of mass market commodity coffee, they use mechanical harvesting.
Which means machines, obviously.
Yeah, literal machines driving through the rows, just aggressively shaking the branches and stripping absolutely everything off at once.
Oh, wow. So you get the unripe, the ripe, the rotten, all mixed together.
All of it in one massive pile.
I mean, if I walk into a fruit market in Dubai, right, to buy mangoes or dates, and the vendor hands me a basket filled with raw, rock-hard mangoes mixed with a few good ones and some rotten ones,
You wouldn't buy it?
I wouldn't. And if I made a smoothie out of that basket, the harsh, sour flavor from the raw ones and the weird fermented taste for the rotten ones would completely ruin the whole drink.
Exactly. The final product suffers instantly. And that is exactly why specialty coffee relies on selective handpicking.
Which sounds insanely labor-intensive.
Oh, it's a monumental amount of work. Trained pickers walk the farm, scanning the branches, picking only the cherries that have reached absolute peak ripeness.
So usually the deep red or yellow ones?
Right. And they literally leave the green ones on the branch so they can come back weeks later for another pass.
That's incredible.
It is. But this is where quality begins. All that sweetness, the floral notes, the fruity flavors you want, they aren't artificial. They are built by waiting for the cherry to ripen perfectly on the tree.
Okay, so we've solved the harvesting problem. We have our perfectly hand-picked ripe cherries. But now we have a new problem, right?
A very urgent problem.
Yeah, because we have piles of wet, sugary fruit sitting around in a warm climate. If I leave a bowl of crushed fruit out in the sun here, it's gonna rot in a few hours.
It's a total race against time. The minute that cherry's off the tree, the clock starts.
So how do they stop it from spoiling?
The first step is a physical quality check,
Right.
and they use water for this. It's called flotation.
Flotation, like just dumping them in a pool.
Basically, yeah, they dump all the harvested cherries into this massive water tank. It's pure physics. A healthy, dense seed sinks to the bottom.
Oh, I see.
But the defective ones, the hollow cherries, or ones with insect damage, they float to the top.
That is such a simple, brilliant way to sort them.
Right? Those floaters are just skimmed off and thrown out.
But they are still wet fruit. Which brings us to the next phase, which the PASA curriculum calls processing.
Yes, processing.
What are we actually trying to do here? Because we want the seed, not the fruit.
Exactly. Processing is just the method we use to separate the seed from the fruit and get it ready for drying.
Okay.
And the specific method they choose radically alters how the coffee is going to taste.
Let's talk about the natural process first.
Sure. So with the natural process, they actually don't remove the fruit at first.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they leave the entire cherry intact and let it dry out in the sun with the seeds still trapped inside.
But if they leave the fruit on, how does that flavor the seed?
Osmosis and fermentation. As that whole cherry bakes in the sun, natural yeasts break down the fruit sugars, and those complex, fruity compounds literally seep into the porous structure of the seed.
Wow.
That's why a naturally processed coffee often tastes super fruity, really sweet, and has a heavy body. It basically absorbs the decaying fruit around it.
That makes so much sense. So then the opposite of that would be the washed process.
Exactly. In the wash process, they use machines to aggressively strip away the skin, and they use water to wash off all the sticky fruit mucilage before the seed dries.
So they are actively trying to remove the fruit's influence entirely.
Right. You are tasting the pure genetics of the seed itself. Washed coffees are known for being clean, bright, really crisp, and often kind of floral.
And the curriculum mentions a third one too, the honey process.
Ah, yes. The honey process.
Which, just to be clear for everyone listening, there's absolutely zero actual honey involved.
Right, no bees required.
So what is it?
It's the middle ground. They take off the outer skin, but they leave a specific amount of that sticky, golden fruit mucilage stuck to the seed while it dries.
So it looks like it's covered in honey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gives you this beautiful balance, sweeter and heavier than a washed coffee, but much cleaner than a natural.
That's fascinating. But no matter which method they use, every single coffee seed now has to be dried, right?
Yep, drying is mandatory.
Which honestly sounds like the easiest part. You just throw it out on a patio and let the sun do its thing.
I wish it were that easy. Drying is an intense amount of physical labor
Really? Why?
because you can't just leave it. Think about taking a massive pile of wet clothes and just dumping them in a heap in the middle of a hot, humid UAE summer.
Oh, gross. The clothes on top would get crispy, and the clothes at the bottom would just stay soaking wet and get moldy.
Exactly, they'd smell sour. So workers are out there on these drying patios or raised mesh beds with rakes, literally turning the coffee constantly throughout the day
Oh, wow. Just for airflow.
for airflow and even drying. And they have a very specific target. The moisture content of the coffee has to hit exactly around 10% to 12%.
Wait, why that specific number? What happens if it's like 15%?
If it's too high, there's still too much free water inside. So when it sits in a dark shipping container for a month, it will grow mold and rot.
Yikes. Okay, what if they dry it too much? Like down to 8%?
Then the cellular structure of the seed becomes entirely brittle. It loses its flavor, and the beans will literally shatter when they travel or go into the roaster.
So 10% to 12% is like the ultimate magic window.
It's where the seed is dormant but safe.
Okay, so the coffee is stable, but we aren't exporting it quite yet. It has to rest.
Right. It rests inside this little papery shell called the parchment. It sits in a warehouse for weeks or months to let the chemistry stabilize.
And then the dry mill.
Yes.
This is where they use friction machines, hulling machines to rip off that parchment shell and finally reveal the green coffee seed.
And that's when the final explosive sorting happens.
Right. The PASA curriculum talks about sorting by size with vibrating screens and using forced air to blow away hollow beans.
And the color sorting.
Yeah, the color sorting blew my mind. They use optical lasers or huge teams of people to pick out black beans, sour beans, or beans with tiny little insect bites.
They have to be ruthless.
Which kind of made me wonder, does one bad bean really matter? Like if I'm ordering a massive Spanish latte with tons of milk and syrup, won't that just hide a few defective beans?
You'd think so, but no. What's fascinating here is the chemistry. When a bean ferments badly on the drying patio, it develops these harsh, medicinal, almost iodine-like chemical compounds.
Oof, that sounds terrible.
It is. One single bad bean can ruin the extraction of an entire shot of espresso.
Wow.
Milk and syrup might soften a good coffee, but they can never fix the sharp, dirty aftertaste of a defective bean. Bad green coffee just tastes bad.
So the sorting is crucial.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this perfectly sorted green coffee goes into jute bags, gets shipped across the ocean, maybe to Dubai. And if you open that bag, it wouldn't smell like a cafe at all.
Not even a little bit. It smells raw, grassy, kind of like dried peas.
Right. So now science takes over to turn those grassy seeds into something we actually want to drink.
The roasting phase.
Yes. The roaster drops these seeds into a spinning steel drum, heated to over 200 degrees Celsius.
And inside each seed, that 10% to 12% moisture we talked about, it instantly starts turning into steam.
But the seed is so dense, the steam is trapped.
Exactly. So pressure builds up inside the bean. And that intense heat drives a cascade of chemical changes. Primarily the Maillard reaction.
Which is the same thing that turns bread into toast.
Right, exactly the same. It's browning. The amino acids and sugars break down and recombine. It creates hundreds of brand new aromatic compounds that just did not exist in the raw seed.
And eventually that pressure gets to be too much.
Yeah, the cellular walls literally pop open. Roasters call it first crack. It sounds just like popcorn.
And from that moment, the roaster has to make huge decisions. If they stop the roast right after that crack, that's a light roast.
Right, which keeps all those delicate floral and fruity notes from the processing intact.
But if they leave it in longer, it pushes into a medium roast. The acids break down, sugars caramelize, and you get that sweet, full body.
And if you push it even further to a dark roast, you basically burn away all those original farm flavors. You replace them with roasted, chocolatey, kind of bitter notes.
Which is so important for beginners to hear. A dark roast doesn't automatically mean it's better or stronger.
Not at all. A lot of times a super dark roast is just hiding bad farming. You can't roast away bad quality, you can only cover it up.
Exactly. Okay, so we have perfectly roasted beans. I want to brew them right now.
You can't.
Why not?
Because of degassing. During that intense roasting, a huge amount of carbon dioxide gets trapped inside the bean.
Oh, right.
If you try to pull a shot of espresso on day one, the PASA materials describe it as chaotic.
Chaotic.
Because CO2 repels water. When the hot water hits fresh grounds, this massive cloud of gas releases and pushes the water away.
So the water literally can't get to the coffee to dissolve the flavor.
Exactly. It channels around it, leaving you with a sour, thin, weird-tasting cup. It needs to rest for a few days, especially for espresso, just to let that gas escape.
Okay, so we've rested the beans. They are ready. And this is where it gets really interesting and kind of terrifying.
The grinder.
The grinder. Because after 9 months of careful farming and precise chemistry, a barista can destroy everything in about 10 seconds.
It is the most destructive tool in the cafe.
When you grind coffee, you're doing two things. First, you're shattering the bean, which lets all those beautiful aromas escape into the air.
Which is exactly why pre-ground coffee goes stale so fast. The aroma is gone before you even brew it.
Right. And second, you are changing the surface area. The grind size controls how much physical resistance the coffee gives to the water.
And that is everything.
If I'm making espresso, the water is hitting it with high pressure, so I need a really fine grind to slow the water down.
Yep. But if it's a V60 pour over, gravity is doing the work, so you need a medium or medium fine grind. And a French press needs a coarse grind because it just sits in the water.
But what happens if the barista messes up the grind size?
Oh, the physics punish you immediately. If the grind is too fine, it turns to mud. The water gets stuck, stays in contact way too long, and pulls out all these harsh, bitter flavors.
And if it's too coarse?
The water just rushes right through like a sieve. It doesn't have time to extract the sweet sugars, so your coffee tastes wet and sour.
The power of the grinder dial is insane.
It really is. Which brings us to the actual brewing, the final gatekeeper.
Right, extraction. We're using hot water, usually around 90 to 96 degrees Celsius, as a solvent to pull those compounds out.
And it happens in a very predictable sequence. Think of it like a traffic light.
Okay, I like that analogy.
First, the green light. The bright fruity acids dissolve first, then the yellow light. The heavier sugars and lipids dissolve next, giving you sweetness and body.
And the red light.
That's the end. The harsh, bitter tannins and plant fibers dissolve last.
So the barista's entire job is to navigate that traffic light, grab the acids, grab the sugars, and stop the brew before it hits those bitter red light compounds.
Exactly. Now put this into a real UAE context. Picture a busy morning in Dubai.
Okay, like an 8 a.m. rush.
Right. Someone grabs an espresso in Dubai, and those beans might have started in Ethiopia. Someone else in Business Bay gets a cappuccino with a naturally processed Brazilian coffee. And in Sharjah, someone is drinking a V60 made from washed Colombian beans.
In that morning rush, it is so easy to just go on autopilot.
So easy, just push the button and serve. But a true coffee educator remembers the months of labor behind every single cup. The barista is the final ambassador of that global chain.
It's a huge responsibility. So as a beginner listening to this, how do we apply this? Let's run through some common beginner traps based on this PASA curriculum.
Let's do it.
First trap, automatically blaming the beans for a bad cup.
Right. The beans might be amazing, but if your water is too hot or your grind is wrong or your recipe is off, the cup will be awful.
Trap 2, thinking roasting can fix bad farming.
We covered that one. You can't fix bad fruit.
Trap 3, assuming dark roast always means better.
It's just a style. It burns off the origin flavors.
And trap 4, ignoring freshness.
Yes. Keep your beans sealed, cool, dry, away from the sun, and grind right before you brew.
Okay, before we wrap, we have a quick quiz for you from the PASA materials. Are you ready?
Oh, this is a good one.
During the drying phase, what specific moisture level must the coffee reach before it's safe for storage and export?
Take a second to think about it.
It's around 10% to 12%.
Exactly 10 to 12%.
We also want you to try an exercise today. We call it Trace Your Cup.
Yeah, next time you have a coffee today, look at the details. Find the origin country. Is it a blend or single origin? What was the process? Wash, natural, honey?
Look at the roast date too. And try to taste it black first. Notice the body, the acidity, the sweetness. Can you actually taste the fruit?
It changes everything when you pay attention.
It really does. And hey, if you are in Dubai and you want to take this from an audio deep dive into an actual hands-on practice, you should definitely check out PASA Coffee in Dubai.
They are amazing. They have step-by-step masterclasses for beginners, beans, equipment, everything you need.
They really know their stuff. And just a quick flashcard summary to lock all this in your brain. Harvesting, then processing, drying to that 11% mark, resting in parchment, milling and sorting, exporting, roasting, resting again, grinding, and finally brewing.
It's exhausting just to say it.
And as a teaser, in episode 6 of their curriculum, they are going to dive deep exclusively into the natural process.
Oh, that's gonna be great, exploring why those coffees get so wild and sweet.
I can't wait for that.
Before we go, I wanna leave you with one final thought.
Go for it.
The next time you order a 5-minute coffee, pause for just 5 seconds. Think about the hillside where it grew, the hands that turned it in the sun, the ships that carried it across oceans. When you realize you are drinking months of invisible global labor, how does that change the actual taste in your cup?
What a question. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Go enjoy your next cup.
From cherry red upon the tree to your cup in Dubai, come ride with me. Pick, process, dry in the sun, mill and ship, the journey's begun. Roast, grind, brew, the aromas rise. Every cup holds a world inside. PASA Coffee, sip and see. Seed to cup, the story flows free. From Dubai, we show the way. Better coffee starts today.
PASA Coffee Podcast.
Episode 5.